Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Lexington Sunday morning service. I'm Reverend Megan Smith Brooks, and we're just going to go right into a really rousing, welcoming song that I know you're going to relate to. Here we go.
There was a time.
Setting our intention for this morning.
Thought I had to do it all for myself.
Thank you, Michael God. No one does it like he
The
does.
grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, gotta let it go. Gotta let it go.
Let it go.
You gotta let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go.
Sing along
Let
with
the
us.
Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit bring my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for
Thank you, Michael Gott. So I hope that got you going this morning, and we're going to be talking a little bit about I release and I let go. So again, good morning, welcome. I'm Reverend Megan Smith Brooks, and I am grateful to be joining you for your inspiring Sunday service on behalf of Unity of Lexington and Reverend Carol, who's taking a health and wellness day off today. So as we begin our service, I want you to know wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. And know we are blessed to have you join us today from the comfort of your home, especially if it's the first time. Thank you for finding us. We're really glad you're with us. I have a few announcements. Please note our services are posted on YouTube. However, the recording will appear later in the day today or the first of the week, depending how that happens. For the copyright reasons, also note the music has been removed. Unfortunately, YouTube has some rules around that. We thank all of you for supporting Unity of Lexington Spiritual Community, and we are so very grateful that you are willing to practice prosperity principles by donating and supporting this ministry. The current path to donation is the Shop Now button on your Facebook page, and of course you can mail in your donations. Our post office mailing address is listed under the category About on the Unity of Lexington Facebook page. It is a P.O. Box number. And so as we move into the service, we want to bring our energy in to hold and love and light those that have requested prayer from your spiritual community. And so for overall, we hold for peace and harmony in our community, our nation, and our world, for divine wisdom for our national and world leaders, as they are all doing a very challenging job. And for all those who are suffering from and have transitioned due to the coronavirus, and for their grieving families and friends, as well as our first responders, frontline and essential workers, especially Nicole and Leslie, we hold you in the beautiful radiant light and the vibration of love. Please pray for healing for Ginger, Belinda, her father Hans, Dan and Karen, Dennis, Karen, Hillary, Olivia, Missy, Diana, Steve, Linda, Sherry's dog Blackie, and Reverend Carol. And if you'd like prayer support, you can call Reverend Carol. The number's on the Facebook About page, or email her at revcarolunity@gmail.com, and that's RevCarolUnity@gmail.com, or you can PM her on Messenger. The Unity of Lexington is honored to support all of you in prayer and in shared intentions. And so let us begin with an opening prayer to officially begin the service today. I invite you to close your eyes as we just focus on the inner realm, taking in a deep breath and feeling that breath moving in and through and as we connect and know that our breath reminds us that we are divine by nature. And we hold this intention, this powerful affirmation of truth, that there is only one presence and one power active in my life, in the universe, and in this ministry. And it is, that power is within us, one in mind, body, heart, and soul. And we are empowered by it. We stand firm in it. And we know the truth as it is active in us. And so it is. Amen. I found a reading that I'd like to share with you as we move into our prayer and meditation time. It comes from a daily word reading, which is published by permission from Daily Word and the Unity Movement. And the focus of this reading is divine principles, because I think it's important for us to recognize that we are practicing those intentionally, and that today we're going to talk somewhat about a spiritual practice that is a principle in our life. The affirmation for divine principles is, divine principles are always at work in my life. A simple truth to know. Divine principles are always at work in my life. And the reading is, divine principles are active in my life and in the lives of all people without exception. They are unchangeable. For example, what I focus on brings greater energy and results in my life. What I focus on brings greater energy and results in my life. That is a divine principle. When my attention is on worries or concerns, I find plenty to worry about, right? Conversely, when I contemplate all the ways I am truly blessed by my relationships, my God-given talents and skills, my opportunities, and my experiences, I benefit in ways I may not even imagine. So I choose to focus on the positive And I release the urge to give any attention to that which is not fully supporting me. Rather than complaining, I look for and find reasons to be filled with joy, light, love, and purpose. Divine principles are always at work in my life and in the lives of all people. Know that in your heart, in your mind, in your entire being. And we find that affirmation and confirmation of truth in Jeremiah 31:33 when it says, I will put my law within them and I will write it on their hearts. Know it in our hearts. Divine principles are always at work in my life, but I have to choose to participate with them intentionally, to align with them, right? So our opening song was I Release and I Let Go. And I want to use that as the song into our meditation time, but to really just kind of slow it down so it's not heartfelt. And if you'd like to sing it with me into meditation, I invite you to do that. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God, my source, my divine nature. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Let us sing it again. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Godness in me. Yes. And so we take a deep breath. We just let it go. And we begin that process of letting Spirit just breathe through you. So gently closing your outer eye so that we might open the eye of our inner vision that sees the truth. I feel my breath breathing me. With every breath I breathe in, knowing I'm breathing in everything that supports me, that aligns vibrationally with health and wholeness. And I feel gratitude for that. Just feel that in the process of breathing. And as I release my breath, I consciously, intentionally release anything and everything that no longer serves my highest good, mind, body, soul connection. Whatever is not useful to me any longer, I release it consciously through my breath. I just feel it leaving me. And I breathe in all the things that support my wholeness. And I feel that rhythm and that process of life that is active in me, as me, through me. I feel it aligning with the rhythm of my heartbeat that reminds me that I am connected in spirit to all life. And I choose intentionally in this moment to go deeper, deeper, and deeper into my heart space. I shift from the activity of my mind into the wisdom of my heart. Knowing there is no more struggles, no more strife, that I'm free in this moment. to be open to the wisdom of the intelligence of my heart that is one with the divinity of all life, the infinite realm of substance that can offer me anything and everything that I need to know to thrive in life. So breathing into the silence, just notice what you're feeling, what might be ready to be released, and what you're opening up to. Just notice what's happening on when you tap into the wisdom of your heart, into the activity of divine principle within you. Listen. Taking in a deep breath, feel the activity of that breath moving through you, connecting you with the vibration of life. And consciously bring your awareness back to your mind, to the room that you're in and anyone that you're with, to begin to re-enter into this moment in time, renewed, revitalized, refreshed, and perhaps with a new insight of the activity within you that serves you, that honors you, that supports you. And so we open our eyes, released and free. And so it is. Amen. So I'm really thrilled to be with you today. I want to start with, just a little funny. There's a story that a pastor from a tiny church ended his annual Give Something Up for Lent sermon. It's that time of year again, right? And he says, as an example of penitence, oh my, I love that word so much, to the rest of the community, this congregation will worship in an unheated church for the whole of Lent. He said that with a smile on his face. And as he made his way out into the chill of the February Sunday, the pastor addressed an elderly member. Mrs. James, and what have you decided to give up for Lent? And she said very firmly, church. So no worries for us this year as we're not meeting in person. And that probably would have missed the whole point of what Lent is about, right? It's not about sacrificing or suffering in some way. For many people, Lent means making some small sacrifice, giving up chocolate or television or habits they'd be better off without, like alcohol or smoking. Things that might be easy to temporarily let go of. You've ever fallen into that practice? It's a nod to the period of abstinence established by the early Christian church to prepare for Easter. But what if we could make the Lenten season absolutely life transforming for you instead, to look at it differently? What if we considered it a spiritual practice, something that serves us? These 40 days plus the 6 Sundays, because technically Lent is not practiced on Sunday. That's a day of actually spiritual renewal, right? What a day of rest. It it begins traditionally on Ash Wednesday and ends on Easter Sunday. Ash Wednesday was last Wednesday, thus we're talking about Lent. So in the Northern Hemisphere, Lent begins in winter and ends in spring, bringing about transformation so dramatic that it can be seen with a native eye. And we leave behind a world that appeared bleak and cold, as it is right now in my world. I don't know about yours, but I know in many places in our country, and celebrate its natural rebirth and renewal, which I can hardly wait for spring to see something green. How about you? Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore believed that the same could be true for each person. He suggested using the Lenten season to release negative thoughts and feelings so that we could wake up to the abundance around us. The abundance around us. He taught the practice of denials and affirmation, which is, denial is another word for release, which more people prefer. So release and affirmations, not denying the reality of a situation, but denying its power over you, that we sometimes believe is true for us. So it's time to let that go. He meant for us to release fear and worry and unforgiveness and doubt and anxiety and all that stuff, and then affirm your innate power and strength, because you are a part of the infinite. You are a part of the divine realm of life. For anyone that's in this 12-step recovery program, one of which my husband has been a member for 34 years, I think it is, you know that members are taught that any major crisis, something that maybe experiences earth-shaking, which can trigger a fall back into addiction, which can also happen with grief or any other unhealthy habit, that we can fall back into that doesn't support us when something of a crisis happens. And they're taught to go back to the 12 steps to assist them in finding answers to moving forward through a new challenge. I heard a story about someone who had only been in the program maybe a couple of years. They'd gone through the first 12-step process, so they've completed that. And they were facing a new crisis in their life. And he was telling his mentor, the steps won't help. And maybe it was an impatient jumping to a response, but he says, I've already done those steps, so how could they help me now? And the mentor's response was, you don't do the steps once. It needs to be an ongoing practice. So I think we often approach a spiritual practice like the 46 days of Lent in the same way. Lent, oh no, I did that last year or in the past. Have you found yourself saying that? Sure. What's the point in doing it again? But in reality, a lot of mental debris can accumulate in our individual consciousness throughout a year. Maybe you've noticed, maybe you haven't. Like fears, resentments, unforgiveness, grief, limitations find their way in when we don't notice. And they quietly, subtly begin to afflict or affect the beliefs defining our life experience, our choices, our thinking. They sneak in and undermine us. So Lent as a spiritual practice is a mental and emotional spring cleaning. We all align with that, right? So it allows us to examine the accumulated thoughts and attitudes in consciousness and decide what we want to keep and what we joyfully release. Because we know it's not serving us a positive purpose anymore, right? So when you finish spring cleaning of your physical environment, you don't expect it to remain in that pristine state forever, right? We know it's just a focused intention where we go a little deeper than usual. A year unfolds, a day at a time, people come and go, things come and stay, life happens, and item by item, the closets and the drawers and the garages and our minds fill to overflowing. So it's time for another spring cleaning. So Lent is like that. We need to center ourselves once again in the universal spiritual principles that have served the focus and purpose of our lives, and to gently, I say gently, remove any accumulated beliefs, thoughts, habits that don't belong or serve a purpose any longer. So, as spiritual beings, we move through this human experience like magnets, picking up all kinds of idle thoughts and musty beliefs along the way. Yeah, unconsciously, we collect stuff. And it's not that we're doing anything wrong. I want you to know that. It's just how life works. It's how the creative process works. And our awareness allows us to step into a practice to support our health and wholeness as we notice the need to do the work. And we set a time intentionally to do that. So when unaware of the impact of our conscious thoughts and beliefs, we can believe ourselves to be victims of those fear-based and negative beliefs, powerless to prevent them from defining our lives. Spiritual teaching, however, allows us to know that we are truly beings of infinite power through intentional choice. And that means this Lenten spring cleaning can be joyful and easy, like brushing away cobwebs, according to Charles Fillmore, the great American mystic and co-founder of our Unity movement. Like brushing away cobwebs. It doesn't take a lot of effort, right? So we can, of course, use this spiritual process for any 46-day period. However, if we choose to begin on Ash Wednesday, and it's not too late to begin now, with the intention of embracing the power of our Easter story with more divine love, self-awareness, and intention, we will feel the vibrational support of the many others joining us in a great collective clearing and cleaning together. We support each other in this process. We can then be certain that the result will be an Easter experience that will allow us to appreciate ourselves, transform our lives to a higher spiritual consciousness than we haven't maybe yet reached. Every year we have an opportunity to go a little beyond where we were last year. So it's serving us a purpose in growth and development at a very deep and profound spiritual level. As for me, I can't pretend, even to myself, that I don't have a few cobwebs to clear. Right? We all have cobwebs. I know it. So yes, I'm going to do another Lent. I'm taking time each day to reflect on what is cluttering my mind, interfering with my creative flow, and holding me back. If I'm honest and willing, I will notice a few things, and I have. I also use walking as a practice to release some of the energy blocking my vibrational energy. When I'm working on something that's mental, I will take that time to do a meditation walk and focusing on what needs to be released. I write out what I intentionally choose to release, and then I bless it for having served me at some time. Because I don't want to blame myself for having collected something. Okay, maybe I needed it for a moment. But I let it go now, and I'm grateful for it. I allow gratitude to fill my mind, my heart, and my being. That I have the ability to release any negative energy interfering with who I am. I'm grateful I have the ability, but I have to choose to do it. And I recognize how empowering it is. So I invite you to join in that process, both for the clearing that will happen in your consciousness and your overall health and wholeness, because it will have a great impact, but also because the divine light of your beingness will make the process easier and more joyful for all of us if we collectively join in lifting each other up in our practice together. We support each other in making it a more empowering process at this time. So let us claim our Lent practice as a spiritual practice, a divine principle practice, with the acronym meaning, let's eliminate negative thinking. Isn't that one easy to remember? Makes more sense. Let's eliminate negative thinking, not something temporary that I feel like I'm sacrificing for. We want to do something that we know is intentionally improving my life experience. So the negative junk, the negative energy we gather throughout the year, we want to release it as a practice to enhance our health and wholeness. And maybe think of it another way, is that I'm fasting on negativity, gossip, complaining, unforgiveness, resentment, fear, worry, anxiety, anything that does not align with the vibrational energy of life to thrive. And I know in the last year, we probably have gathered more stuff to release than any other year. Mentally, emotionally, the gossip, the stories, the media, yeah. This could be a really powerful Lent season for you, a powerful mentally, emotionally spring cleaning practice for you. So to claim that, we can simply state with intention and purpose, I release what no longer serves the highest good of my mind, body, soul connection. I release what no longer serves my highest good of mind, body, soul connection. I release it all, anything and everything. And I feel that when I claim it. Feel what that might be for you as you claim that release, emphatically with power and intention. Notice it leaving. And know that we're sending that energy out to be recycled. We're not polluting the energy of the earth, right? Or the world around us. So we can claim this as a season of transformation to shed any thoughts, habits, feelings, or belongings that do not serve us. We can take it to a deeper and more physical experience if we want to start clearing out closets too. And we gently, and I use the word gently, I think it's important to know that it's not something we force on ourselves. We gently release anything that does not further or support the greater expression of our innate divinity, that is wanting to come forth. The authenticity of who we are. Anything that would be a negative to our life, mind, body, soul, spirit connection. So we see in nature that some animals shed their old skins, right? So we intentionally and prayerfully eliminate old skins of our own. It's old ways no longer meant to be ours, no longer serving a purpose for thriving. And we create space for what is new in us to grow and shine, to radiate, to be seen for all its glory. The things that held back, that we've been holding back from expression because the layers of collected old and outdated thinking, and we do have a bunch of that buried deep, and the clutter of life that's been covering them up from being revealed. So it is not something we give up temporarily. I want you to remember that. That we just go, oh yeah, I could give up that for a little while, thinking I'll just go back to it. What's the point in that? How does it serve a deeper purpose if it's temporary? Now, this is meant to be challenging and a continuous process of claiming and thriving in life. It's eliminating those things that we want to permanently let go of, to enhance who we are, what we want to experience, and how we want to live. So in doing that, we shift then what the practice of Lent is. It becomes a new practice of L.E.N.T. Let's embrace new thinking. So once I've eliminated the negative thinking and things, I can embrace new thinking and things, right? So think about what you want to align with in thought, what you want to draw into your life, what you want to be demonstrating or changing. Perhaps a new habit would benefit you in being formed now. So we embrace that intention. We hold it in mind in prayer. We visualize it and take action steps to begin it now. Not something temporary, but a consistent, meaningful change for the better. And we have this 46-day period of time to set it into motion. That's what this time is about. Practicing something new as we take the time to get comfortable with letting the old form go. We're preparing for the transformation that we celebrate on Easter morning. We can't just do it overnight. So we need this time. So if a possession no longer serves you, and I know I have a few of those, we can return it to the universe for recirculation. We can donate it, give it away, recycle it, create space for what will serve us in a greater way. Perhaps a more meaningful possession, or perhaps just more space to breathe in. If our thoughts are not uplifting, we cleanse our minds of fear and doubt, of gossip and complaining, of negativity. Consciously use the release statement as a regular practice, maybe daily, maybe first thing every morning and last thing every night. We make sacred space for new, more empowering ways of being who we're meant to be, choose to be, to embrace new thinking, aspects of who we are, to make a greater difference in our daily imprint in this world. Because when we do that, we're shifting everything around us. We're changing things in positive ways. And just think of how empowering it is when we do it collectively together. In my grief healing practice, I've learned the value of journaling to get to that core wisdom that's within me. So I offer this exercise to get into the deeper aspect of what we may not have taken the time to connect with from within ourselves and our daily living. Lent is a great time to do that. So I challenge you to begin this week by taking time to write out these questions and then reflect on what is revealed as you write a response. What things are no longer useful to me now? What things are no longer useful to me now? That could be thoughts, it could be habits, it could be possessions, it could be relationships, how I show up in the world. Am I willing to release these things now? You see, we have to be willing to do it. It's not something to be imposed upon us. So to do what is necessary to replace those things that are no longer useful with the things that honor and support my wholeness to thrive. So I consciously and joyfully need to be willing to release those things that are not useful anymore. And then ask yourself, what things offer me value in this moment in time? To really focus in on what those things are. What offers me value? And maybe something that I've observed that I admire from others, or I've read about, or something I just have had this new revelation about in myself that I want to bring out. And so finally, we ask ourselves, then what steps will I take to begin implementing those things now? What simple thing can I do to move in that direction? Maybe it's doing more research or exploration. I'll post these questions on the Facebook post of this recording for you to copy down if you wish, in case you weren't ready to write things down. But it's a useful practice, and I encourage you to do that. So let this be our Lent practice. Let's eliminate negative thinking and things, and then embrace new thinking and things, setting into motion a transformation and renewal of who you are as we experience Easter again this year. It comes around every year too, consciously demonstrating a more vibrant and radiant expression of our divinity. Are you excited now about Lent? Are you willing to practice it? I hope so. So blessings on your journey of L.E.N.T. Let's eliminate negative thinking and things, and now let's embrace new thinking and things. And so as we close, I invite you to join with me our prayer for protection and affirmations of truth. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and I am, for we are one, and so it is. And for those of you that are listening now, I play for you another song for your enjoyment as we close the service. Another Michael Gott song called All That I Need Is Coming to Me Now.
All that I need comes to me.
Let that fill your heart, mind, and soul right now.
All that I need comes to me. The light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me. I've been set free, I'm released. I've been set free, I'm released. The burden of my past has gone away at last. I've been set free, I'm released. Sweet rain that washes me clean. Sweet rain that washes me clean. The mind creates all things, into my life it brings. Sweet rain that washes me clean.
This is when you dance.
All that I need comes to me. 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 The light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me. The light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me.
Happy trails on your Lent experience. We'll see you next week when Reverend Carol is back with you.